the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cages loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the canes on its front. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Thank you very much. What a group. What a group. Thank you very much. What a great honor to have you. Thank you. It is a great, great honor to have you in the White House. Thank you very much. They call this, as you know, this is Young Black Leadership, and it's the summit. And to have you here is truly my privilege. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk. We're going to meet. But before I do, I'd like to begin, and you are leaders. You're real leaders. I'd like to begin today's remarks by providing an update on the packages and devices that have been mailed to high-profile figures throughout our country and a media organization. I am pleased to inform you that law enforcement has apprehended the suspect and taken him into custody. It's an incredible job by law enforcement. We've carried out a far-reaching federal, state, and local investigation to find the person or persons responsible for these events. These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country. No place. I've instructed authorities to spare no resource or expense in finding those responsible and bringing them to swift and certain justice. And we will prosecute them, him, her, whoever it may be, to the fullest extent of the law. We must never allow political violence to take root in America. Cannot let it happen. And I'm committed to doing everything in my power as president to stop it. And to stop it now. To stop it now. I have just concluded a briefing with the Department of Justice following the apprehension of the suspect. I want to applaud the FBI, Secret Service, the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, the NYPD, and all law enforcement throughout the entire country, incredible partners. These people have worked so hard, and to have done it so quickly. It's looking like it's a needle in a haystack. How do you do this so quickly? They've done an incredible, incredible job, and I want to congratulate them. But a bottom line is that Americans must unify, and we must show the world that we are united together in peace and love and harmony as fellow American citizens. There is no country like our country, and every day we are showing the world just how truly great we are. So you are really very special people. I wanted to say that before our little talk. And I appreciate the time you've given me. And boy, one day, one of you is going to be standing. It could be 3 or 4 of you, actually. But you're going to be standing right here. You're going to be standing right here. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Who in this room wants to be president someday? So it's an ambitious group. It's an ambitious group. That's great. Anyway, thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. For the media, thank you very much. I thought I'd do that, and we feel very strongly. Again, congratulations to all law enforcement. We have the best in the world, and they just showed it. Thank you very much. Now to the subject at hand. And it is my great honor to be with so many brilliant, and that's what you are, brilliant, courageous, patriotic, and proud Americans. Seeing all of you here today fills me with an extraordinary confidence in America's future and the great, great future of our country. Each of you is taking part in the Young Black Leadership Summit, because you are true leaders on your campuses, in your churches, and in your communities. You are leaders. Leaders of the future. You're leaders of the present also. Remember that. You're leaders of youth. But it's really something to be your age. And where are you standing? In the White House. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. And each of you is playing a historic role in making America great again for all Americans. We're proudly joined by the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson. Where's Ben? Come up here, Ben. This guy was so tough, you know. I had to run against him, I want to tell you. He was brutal, he was tough. And he's my friend. He's my friend. It's amazing the way you can respect somebody. You are. But it's incredible when you run against somebody, you're fighting and fighting, and you're doing everything you can, you want to win, and then it sort of works, and you call up and say, who'd be a great guy for the cabinet? I say, what about Ben Carson? And Dr. Ben, he's one of the greats, and he's our friend. He was some tough customer, though. I don't want to have to go through that again, Ben, right? Well, I also want to thank my friend, Charlie Kirk from Turning Point USA. What a great person. Worked so hard And Charlie has done a very special job. You know why? He found somebody who's an incredible person. Candace Owens. An incredible person. In fact, Charlie may go down. His greatest achievement may have been finding Candace Owens. I don't know. That's not bad, Charlie. That's not bad. Anyway, two incredible people. Thank you very much, Candace. Charlie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Each of you represents the future of our nation. You know that. You are not afraid to stand up for your beliefs or stand against injustice. You refuse to be told by the same failed voices how to think or what to believe. You understand that. And you see what's happening with our country, how great it is, and how well different groups of people are doing. I mean, nobody would believe this. The Democrats are very nervous, I will tell you. They're, you know, supposed to be automatic. They do nothing for you, and that was supposed to be automatic. Not anymore. Not anymore, right? But you're not intimidated by the forces of political correctness because you embrace your own right to free thought and to free speech. History is fashioned by those like you who step up to the plate and get into the game and get the grand slam home run. I was going to say home run. Let's go for the grand slam home run. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, man. That's what you're doing. I can live with that. I was never a fan. You know that, right? I don't know. Not everybody's going to understand. I was never a fan. I guess I proved to be right. But you are demanding a better kind of politics in America. Really are. One where those who have the courage to speak are not attacked, but instead really applauded for what you're doing and what you're saying and how you're helping people. For example, we are grateful to Kanye West. How about Kanye? I don't know. And, you know, Kanye was very interesting because we get these poll numbers, and a lot of them are fake polls. I call them fake polls. And one of the pollsters comes, Kanye leaves, and Kanye's really a great guy. He's a little different, do we say? He's a little different. But he's a smart guy and a good guy. And Kanye came up, and he hugged me, and he's wearing the Make America Great Again cap, and he said, this cap, I feel like Superman. But he understands he's really something very, very special and interesting, and I see why people like him. But he came up, and a couple of days go by, and the pollsters come in. You know, you're falling asleep. They're giving you the same numbers that they've been for the... Sir, what's happened with the African-American community? I said, I don't know. Tell me, what's happening? I don't know. I wasn't thinking. They said, your numbers have gone up like 26 points, which is unheard of. So I think Kanye, he may be the most powerful man in all of politics, right? But Jim Brown, you don't know, most of you are too young. So I think if Jim Brown were playing football today, and you know, I don't know if you know, does anybody know what lacrosse is? Lacrosse is a tough game. It's a great game, it's a tough game. He may have been the greatest running back of all time, may have been the greatest football player, Jim Brown. They say he was an even better lacrosse player. You've heard that. See, he's a little bit older. He's half my age. But they say that Jim Brown may have even been a better lacrosse player than he was a football player, if that's possible. In other words, a serious athlete, right? Big Jim. If Jim were playing today, take the highest salary of the NFL and double it. That's how great he was. He would run through them, preferably around them. You know, doesn't need to get slugged, but he would run through them, he'd run around them, he'd run any way you could, but you couldn't stop him. He was something really special, and what a great guy. And he's been there for a long time. He's been with us for a long time. And he sat and he watched Kanye, and I watched Kanye, and Jim's going, man, I've never heard anybody like this. You know, Jim is the strong, silent type, and that's good too. But that was a great day, having the two of them together. Very different, but they both believe in us. They both believe in what we're doing, as do many others, many others. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And many of you have been attacked and called vicious names for being willing to speak out for what we all believe in. The conservative movement, and Candace, you and Charlie and so many, and Ben, by the way, Dr. Ben has done so much for the movement. People see what's happened. They see what happens to their lives. It's a movement of tolerance and unity and progress, and a lot of people don't understand that, but they're finding it out. They're attacking us because we are speaking the truth, changing people's minds, and proving every day that our policies work and that we are really doing what's right and what's good. And I get attacked also. You get attacked. I get attacked all the time. In fact, I'm just thinking, come to think of it, who gets attacked more than me? Ben, does anybody get attacked? I get attacked. I get attacked. I think maybe more. Maybe more than anybody, I don't know. I can do the greatest thing for our country, and on the networks and on different things, it will show bad. They will take it back, because fake news. But they will, no matter what, if it's, I won't use examples, and today is just sort of a very special day because we caught somebody that hopefully, that'll all pan out to be 100%, but it probably will. But today's a special day for that reason. But, you know, we all get attacked, and we're smart, and we understand where they're all coming from. And there's another word that I can just look at these incredible, beautiful, and handsome faces. See, today you're not allowed to use those terms because, you know, they'll say, but you know what? I'll use it anyway. Beautiful, handsome. Well, look at all these handsome faces. I'll use it. Candace, I'll take my chances on that, okay? It's not politically correct. We have to bring that back into the world of being okay, right? Don't you agree? We're going to bring that back. But I see it. You really understand what's happening. You've got it. You know, you're very special. You've got it. And that's why you're here. And other people aren't. But there's a word. A lot of people are jealous of you. They're very jealous. And jealousy is a very bad thing. It's mean. It's nasty. But people that are jealous, they never make it. You know? They're jealous, they never make it. They'll be looking at you in 20 years, and you'll be at this plateau that they just will be so angry, and it's just... But remember, there's a word called jealous, and you have a lot of people that are very jealous of you and how far you've come and how quickly you've come. So I just want, it's an unfortunate thing, probably will be with us for a while, but that's a word that we have to understand because it's used against us very much. The word jealousy. The worst tendency in our politics is to tell people what they should believe based on their race or religion or color or creed. Right? Such a setback. We reject the politics of division, and we embrace the unity of being American. Really great. We are one people, one family, and we are one nation saluting one great American flag. And by the way Jim Brown talked about the flag the other day was great. I said, I hope we have that because it was beautiful. What he was saying was just incredible. As well as I've heard anybody say it, I've heard everybody talking different views, different everything about the kneeling or the not kneeling. Jim Brown, the greatest of them all, Jim Brown talked about the American flag, and we have it, and it was incredible. And these folks have it, and I wish they'd put it on because it was incredible. Our agenda of America First belongs to every citizen, and we will put America first. You know, we haven't been doing that, and we've been taking care of countries that don't even vote for us at the United Nations. You know, we give tremendous amounts of aid to countries that don't need it. We take care of military protection for countries that are rich. By the way, they're starting to pay up. If you folks don't mind, they're starting to pay up. Beautiful. So, and then they don't take care of us. They don't even vote for us. We had a case with Israel where we needed some help, and we had like 2 votes. And then I said, all these countries, we give billions and billions and billions of dollars in aid. And I just made a statement. I said, I want you to know that we are watching you, and we are watching you vote today on Israel. And we don't like what we're seeing. We've backed you, and we need this vote. And because Israel has been a great ally, we've done a lot for them, but they've done a lot for us. And in the Middle East, it's nice to have somebody that you can rely on. And so what happens is we end up getting 68 votes. So we went from 2 to 68 because we said, aid, you're not going to get it, or maybe you're not going to get it, or we're watching. You have to watch. And amazing how that changes the vote. Isn't it amazing? But whether you're African American or Hispanic American or any American, really any American at all, you have the right to live in a country that puts your needs first. So we're so grateful. Because people said, I heard this one a couple of weeks ago. I said, give me a break. They said, America first. That could be racist. I said, racist? Racist. Why is that racist? Here we are. I think, does everybody in this room agree? You're living in America. America first, right? You're here. Racist. That is really beautiful. This is a beautiful meeting, I have to be honest with you. I go to a lot of them. Some of them I'm, a little bored. I do my thing, I say my words, I say bye everybody. And I go and I say, it's all right. But this is a very exciting place. Every citizen benefits from tax cuts, regulation cuts, and millions more of great paying jobs. Look at jobs. Every citizen benefits from lower crime, safer communities, and school choice. Every citizen benefits from reducing the price of prescription drugs, which we did yesterday, got very little coverage. I was told by a very prominent, congressman, I must say, a few of them, one was a Democrat, very strong, said the reduction of drug prices is more important than health care. And we're doing great on health care, but I've always wanted, it's been really a thing, and we set it up so it's so good, and we had a big, big announcement yesterday, and we are reducing drug prices tremendously. And it didn't get the kind of coverage it should have because it was a big thing. But, they also were competing with this story that took place that now our law enforcement's done such a good job, so maybe that can start to disappear rapidly because we don't like those stories. But we're going to be reducing the prices of drugs and lowering the cost of health care very, very significantly. You're seeing that, and a lot of people are seeing it already. So it's a big thing. Thank you. Every citizen benefits when we stop foreign countries from cheating our workers. That's what they've been doing, They're called globalists. They like the globe. I like the globe, too. But we have to take care of our people. We have to. Globalists. Come on. By demanding trade, and when we have trade deals, we have to make good trade deals for our country. So when I took office, trade, we lost $807 billion that year on trade. Think of it, $807 billion. Nobody even knows what it is. What does that mean? It's so much. It's like, what does it mean? If you said you lost 12 million, we lost $807 billion. We want our trade with other countries to be fair and reciprocal. The reciprocal is very important because we have other countries charging us tariffs of 100% and more, and we don't charge them anything. And now we're charging them, folks. Now we're charging. It's going to be, you're seeing a big difference. And every citizen benefits when we have a strong, beautiful border. And that's happening. And we have a big, as you know, they call it the caravan. It's a big caravan. And I called up the military. This is the military, greatest military in the world. I called up the military. We're not letting them in. They ought to go back now because we're not. Now, do we want them to apply and come in legally? Absolutely, yes. And millions of people are right now waiting, and they've been working this process for, in some cases, 10 years, and they're almost ready to come in. And then they look on television and they see people just walking in. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And we also want people to come in on merit. We need people to help us with all the companies that are moving back to the United States. We have tremendous amounts of companies moving back in. We want people to come in on merit, not people that come in and have no chance of ever loving our country, loving our people. We want people to come in and help us with those companies, because the companies really, we have the lowest employment rate we've had in 50 years. We want to be able to get great people to help those companies. But we have tremendous opportunities, tremendous, big, powerful, beautiful companies moving in and coming back. And when you were a little bit younger, like maybe, well, for a long time, I could say this. I could actually go, how about 2 years ago? Companies were moving out like you wouldn't believe. And now they're moving back in, and they're all moving back in. Illegal immigration has been especially harmful to African American communities and also to Hispanic American communities by depressing wages and replacing workers. That's been happening, and it's been very unfair. All Americans have the right to have their laws enforced and their borders protected. We don't have borders. We don't have a country. For decades, policies advanced by Democrats have eliminated opportunity and wiped out good-paying jobs and even great-paying jobs for the black community. You know that. Think of it. Their policies are absolutely adverse to the black community. When I ran for president, I asked black Americans to give me a chance with your vote by saying, what the hell do you have to lose? Remember? Ben remembers that. No, I'm making a speech, and I literally had like 20 points about how badly black Americans are being treated, African Americans are being treated, and it was point after point. Highest crime rate, highest this, worst household ownership, worst edge. I'm reading these points. I'm reading them. And I had never seen them before. They were so bad. The crime was horrible in the African American communities. So I'm reading these points. Every one of them is run by the Democrats, every one of those communities. Every one. So I'm reading it, crime, the worst education, worst median income, everything, just point after point. Highest employment rate in the whole country by far. By the way, African American youth, unemployment rate like 58%, 58%. So I'm reading these numbers, and I just looked up. I say, vote for me. What the hell do you have to lose? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. So I finished the speech, and I got a big applause. But I finished the speech, I walked back, and my people told me, sir. I said, what? You shouldn't have said that. That's disrespectful. I said, what's disrespectful? What the hell do you have to lose? I said, what's disrespectful? And then I said it over and over at every speech. And you know what? My poll numbers, you saw, with African American went up, 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 because they started saying, he's right. He's right. Hey, so much for so-called handlers, folks, right? My handler said, sir, we don't like that. And I said, you know what? People like it. And a lot of people have come up to me and they said, thank you for saying that, because it made a lot of people think. On every side of the equation, it made them start thinking. So I appreciate that very much. Now I want to talk about what we have done, and more importantly, what you have really gained. You've gained a lot, and we've all gained a lot. I promise to be a president for all Americans. And the amazing results that we've all achieved, you've helped us so much in your communities, incredible. But the results really speak for themselves. It was just announced last quarter that the economy beat all expectations, growing at 3%, 3.5%, and now they think it could be well into the fours. They just announced an estimate of 3.5, and these are numbers that were not even thought about. In fact, if during the process of going against in the primaries, and Ben, you understand this, if I would have ever said 3.5 or 4%, last quarter was 4.2%, it was 4.1, they elevated it to 4.2, people would have said that is the most dishonest statement for somebody to say that. So 3.5. And consumer spending is surging like they haven't seen. The African-American unemployment rate has hit the lowest level ever recorded in the history of our country. And that took a big, beautiful, the change has been so incredible just in the 2 years. But think of that, that's in history. That's a tough soundbite for my opponent when we run, whoever that opponent's going to be. By the way, African-American unemployment is lowest in history. I don't know how you beat that soundbite. And we're going to do better and better and better. But now we'll just make it better and better.
I vote Democrat again.
You're right. The unemployment rate for African-American women has also reached the lowest number ever recorded. Congratulations. African-American youth unemployment, which was really in terrible shape, those numbers, is the lowest level ever recorded, history. The African-American poverty rate is now at its lowest level in history. So the poverty rate is at the lowest level. I think this is awfully tough for the Democrats to debate. Let's say we're debating, and I throw a couple of these numbers. How do they get us, right? How do they get us? Candace, this is a tough number to beat, right? Businesses owned by African-American and Hispanic women are growing at a faster rate than any other kind of business or business type ownership. Think of that. African-American women, entrepreneurs. That's fantastic. That's a great number right there. Think of it, growing faster than any other business or business group. But it's called winning, right? Winning, yes, I got it. But we still have a lot to do. The Democrats' policies, and you notice I never say the Democratic party. The word is Democrat, but when you say Democratic, it's much nicer sounding, right? They should change their name, actually, but I'm not going to tell them that. I don't want to see all those cameras. I don't want to tell them that. But they say the Democratic Party. It's not that. It's called the Democrat Party. It doesn't sound good, right? I hate it. I hate to say it. You're making a speech, and then you say the Democrat Party, and a lot of people say, oh, it should be the Democrat, because it sounds so much better. They should actually change the name. I'm giving them free advice. Change the name, because we'll still beat them. Their policies are no good, so it doesn't matter, right? But Democrat policies have led to unsafe communities, failing schools, over-incarceration, which is a big thing that Jared Kushner is working on. There's Jared. Look at Jared. Hi, Jared. He talks about that, the prisoners, and they get out and they couldn't get jobs now. It's one stat that I wasn't going to even mention today. It wasn't part of it, but we're very proud. Jared Kushner has worked so hard on this, and beyond anything you can believe. Maybe he feels more strongly about this than any other thing you're working on. He's working on some very exciting things. But now, for the first time ever, think of this, prisoners, because the economy is so strong, for the first time, prisoners are getting jobs. And you know what's happening? They're getting a second chance. And I think, frankly, the African-American community, it's not a point I ever bring up because, you don't associate it with anything, but except for the prisoners themselves. But the African-American community appreciates that maybe more than anything we've done. And maybe I should stop bringing it up. What has happened is the economy is now so strong that people are hiring people that got out of prison, giving them a second chance, and giving them a third chance, really, and giving them a lot of chances in some cases. But I'll tell you what, I've spoken to friends of mine who would have never, it wasn't even on their radar. And now they're hiring people getting out of prison. And one of my friends said, you wouldn't believe it. They're like incredible. They're incredible. And I don't mean everyone, because there's no, even in this room, we probably have a couple of bad ones, right? What do you think? Are there any bad ones, huh? No bad ones? But, you know, some of them won't work out, right? Some of them won't work out. But I'm hearing from people that it's incredible how good they are. And they are really, the employers are really appreciated by the people that come out because they've given them that chance. This one friend is beyond. He's doing it more and more and more, and he's had tremendous success. Now, that's a little artificial because it's done because the economy is so good it's hard to get people, but we've started a whole trend because not only are they getting the people, but they're doing a fantastic job. So I'm so honored by that. It's something nobody talks about, and to a certain extent it's because of the economy, but now it's going to carry over beyond the economy, and it's really something we should all be proud of that one. Too many black Americans are trapped in failing communities. We understand that. And I talk about this. In the past, the black community has been promised everything from the Democrats, by the Democrats, and they've gotten nothing. They've gotten nothing. And there's been no incentive. You know, incentive is an important word. There's, like, you have an incentive to be great. You know, you see the incentive, you feel it. Like just being in the room today. There's no incentive. It's like you're giving, but ultimately that becomes a trap. It's all a big trap. While the Democrat Party, see, Democrat, is obsessed with resistance, we are focused on results. We want results. That's what we're doing. And where the Democrat Party has failed, Republicans have delivered, and we have really delivered big. And, you know, I've only had, it's not even 2 years. It's actually not even that close to 2 years. It would be January 20th, so we have a long way to go. And I can say, and I say it all the time, and I have to be careful because they'll always correct me if I'm slightly wrong, but no other president, no other administration has done in its first 2 years anything near what we've done with regulations, with the big tax cuts, with choice for our veterans, with what we said about prisoners and coming out. I mean, you know, hundreds of things. We've done so many things. And the economy, of course. And remember one thing, because I always consider him to be a true great, and people never give us credit for this. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, right? Right? I was having arguments with people. We were talking about what the Republicans were doing, and I don't know. I wasn't probably on my game, and I wasn't doing so well, and I just blurted out. And I said it's strong. I said, but Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, and I won the argument. I just said that. Abraham, Honest Abe. I wonder if he was really that honest, but you know what? Let's assume Honest Abe was Honest Abe. But he was a Republican. Your leadership helps our entire country see that the Republican Party is growing, and it's true. It's becoming a vibrant party because of you, and youth all over, but because of you. And it's growing like never before. It's a party of opportunity. It's a party for all Americans, regardless of race or religion or gender. And we're fighting for the right of every American child to grow up in a safe community. So important. You know, sometimes you'll say, we want strong action, we want safety. And they'll say, well, is that a racial comment? Is that a racist comment? You know, we want safety. We don't want people hurt when they go and buy bread. And I've been with too many people. They've lost their sons, they've lost their daughters to just bad policy. And they're devastated, And then they go out and they vote for Democrats, and it just doesn't make sense. Never made sense to me. So, and I think the people in this room probably understand it even better than I understand it. Never made sense. But you have the right to attend great schools and to graduate with access to a rewarding job and a lifelong career. You want to, you know, like I think this room, 95% of this room probably gets up in the morning and you can't even sleep. You're excited by life. I'm excited. I am. You're excited, right? You're excited. But, you know, and it's true. You want to, and you want that. You want to run to your job if you like your job. By the way, if you don't like your job, if you don't like where you get something else. The nice thing is, see, now you have the choice. Before, people had to hold on to their job because it was not the same. Now you can really go look at 7 jobs, 10 jobs. You pick the one, and if you don't like it, you go to another one. But now you really do, because there's nothing like wanting to go to the job, and you'll do better. because you like it. Each of you here today are very special people. Through your voice, your engagement, and your activism can help make the future of this country even better. Even better. As great as it is, as great as it's becoming, we've made such progress over the last 2 years. You're going to make it much better. You're doing something very important. You're really at the forefront of something unbelievably important, and you know what I mean. It's historic. It is historic. It really is. It's historic what you're doing, and that goes for you two. And Ben, I don't know, you're from a different age, Ben. Hey, Ben's been at the forefront, though, when you think. You know, he was a great doctor, great doctor. I've had friends that had difficulty, and they called me and they said, and I sent them to Ben, they said, even though he's now judge of housing, and he figured it out quick. I said, do you know much about housing? He said, not that much. I said, yeah, but you're as smart a guy as there is. You'll figure it out. He's all figured it out. You figured it out, Ben, huh? But he was a great brain surgeon, and I've actually sent people to, just for reference, you know, like they have a problem, and you have given them great advice. He sent them to the right people, just as a thing to do, people that were in big trouble. Ben Carson is a special person. So you are all the future of this nation, I have to say that, and there's nothing you cannot do. There's nothing you cannot do.
All right, folks, welcome. My name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times. I'm the host of the stream. The president is set to come out soon and deliver another speech, his second rally in one day, and today in Indianapolis, Indiana. Today, the vice president is going to be accompanying the president as he gives a speech in Indiana. Also, there's going to be a special speaker, a speaker that hasn't been up with the president for a long time, but today he is going to make an appearance. So make sure you guys stay tuned live here at Golden State Times. Please share the live stream on social media. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. And also, if you are new to the channel, subscribe, click the notification bell, and all of that good stuff. The president should be arriving soon to the venue where he is going to deliver his speech in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you guys share the live stream on social media, I'll give you guys a quick shout out as a thank you from us live here at Golden State Times. So make sure you guys please do that. Also, don't forget to say hello on the chat. All of those thumbs up, being active on the chat and sharing the live stream. That helps out the channel so much. So yeah, folks, the president should be arriving soon. We'll have the footage up on your screen in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Please, thank you very much.
So hold on one second as I get everything ready.
To be with you. And I want to thank Chief Jakmar for the wonderful introduction and for your lifetime of distinguished service. A very special friend of mine. I'm thrilled to be here in the great state of Florida with the incredible men and women of law enforcement. On behalf of all Americans, I want to express our eternal gratitude for what you do every single day to protect our families, defend our streets, and take down criminals. And what you do is keep America safe, and nobody does it better than you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I also want to thank your amazing families, because you know that without them you couldn't do it. And they're here, and they are indeed fantastic people. So thank you to the families. Appreciate it very much. We are thrilled to be joined today by a true friend of law enforcement, Governor Rick Scott. And I will tell you that Rick has been incredible when it comes to law enforcement. Anytime you need funds from the federal government, he's on the phone. Mr. President, we need more funds. What's it for this time, Rick? It's for law enforcement. And I say, you got him. And speaking of that, oh, you got him. You got them. When law enforcement wants it, and they're reasonable, they want it, and what you do is so incredible. So I just want to say Rick is tremendous governor, and he is your biggest fan, so thank you very much. And also another one of your big fans, I will tell you that, is Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's with us today. And thank you, Pam. Thank you very much, wherever you may be. She's in this big room someplace. Thank you. Incredible woman. Thank you as well to our Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, for being here. Flew down together. The press wants to know, what did you talk about? But we had a very good talk, I will say. That became a very big story, actually, folks. We had a good talk. As Hurricane Michael nears landfall, we are working with state and local officials in Florida to take all necessary precautions, and we urge all residents to be prepared and to heed local officials. I told Rick Scott that we are ready for you. We have already briefed FEMA, and FEMA's getting prepared, and it looks like a big one. Can you believe it? It looks like another big one, but we've handled them well. We handled them very well, and that includes the one that just left us in Florida. Never ends, but we're all prepared, and hopefully it won't be as bad as it's looking. It looked to me, a couple of days ago like it was not going to be much, and now it's looking like it could be a very big one, so we're prepared, and good luck. Today, I also want to extend my very special thanks to Orlando Chief John Mina and the entire Orlando Police Department for hosting us in this great city. John, where's John? Thank you, John. Great job. Great city. Safe city, too, John. Thank you very much. Great job. I also want to thank the board of IACP, and congratulations to your incoming president, Chief Paul Sell. Where's Chief? Chief? Good, Chief. I have a lot of respect for the Chief. I know the Chief. That means I guess I have to be here next year, Chief. Is that right? Looking like that, right? That's okay. For you guys, anything I can do, I'll do. Very importantly, I want to recognize our law enforcement partners from around the world who have traveled here to share their experience and to strengthen the vital cooperation that we all practice together. We have great cooperation all over the world. We deeply value your friendship and your partnership, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you. This year, we proudly celebrate the 125th anniversary of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. It's a great group. Today, I stand before you as President of the United States to tell you that my administration will always honor, cherish, and support the men and women in blue, and we are proud to do it. Working together, we have achieved extraordinary progress in the fight against violent crime. We understand that reducing crime begins with respecting law enforcement. For too many years, we have watched politicians escalate political attacks on our courageous police officers, and I've never seen it more than over the last few years. It's disgraceful. Politicians who spread this dangerous anti-police sentiment make life easier for criminals and more dangerous for law-abiding citizens. And they also make it more dangerous for police. And it must stop, and it must stop now. Before I took office less than 2 years ago, our nation was experiencing a historic surge in violent crime. In 2015, 2016, additional 128,000 violent crimes were committed nationwide compared to the 2 previous years. That's a tremendous number of additional crime. Over the same period, we witnessed the steepest 2-year consecutive increase in murders in nearly half a century. But we are turning that tide around very rapidly, as you all know in this room. We are taking back our streets from drug lords, gangs, and crimes. We are being tough, we're being smart. By the end of this year, murders in major cities are estimated to drop by close to 10% from their levels in 2016. And I have directed the Attorney General's office to immediately go to the great city of Chicago to help straighten out the terrible shooting wave. Want to straighten it out fast. There's no reason for what's going on there. I've told them to work with local authorities to try to change the terrible deal the city of Chicago entered into with ACLU, which ties law enforcement's hands, and to strongly consider stop and frisk. It works, and it was meant for problems like Chicago. It was meant for it. Stop and frisk. And Rudy Giuliani, when he was mayor of New York City, had a very strong program of stop and frisk, and it went from an unacceptably dangerous city to one of the safest cities in the country, and I think the safest big city in the country. So it works. It's got to be properly applied, but stop and frisk works. The crime spree is a terrible blight on that city, and we'll do everything possible to get it done. I know the law enforcement people in Chicago, and I know how good they are. They could solve the problem if they were simply allowed to do their job and do their job properly, and that's what they want to do. So, Chicago, we're going to start working with you as of today. Thank you. In the fiscal year 2018, my administration brought charges against more federal firearm defendants and more violent criminals than ever before in the history of our country, and to help former inmates become law-abiding and productive members of society. We are also working on a prison reform bill, very, very big and comprehensive one. And the best thing that could happen, I think we've already done. We have record numbers of jobs right now in the United States. There's never been a time where more people are working in our country than right now. And our unemployment numbers in almost every category are at record lows. They are record lows. African American, best in history. Asian American, best in history. Hispanic American, best in history. We are doing incredibly well as an economy, and that's a great thing when you talk about people coming out of prison unable to get a job, totally unable to get a job. It's a hopeless situation. Now they're getting jobs to a certain extent and to a large extent because we're doing so well. And employers are forced to take people that they maybe wouldn't have done. And some of those employers call me and get back to me. And they say, Mr. President, it's amazing how good these people are. And not all of them, not all of anybody or any category is going to be great, but tremendous response. And these people have been given a second or even in some cases a third shot at it, and they're doing really well. So the economy being so great and the jobs picture being so strong, people are getting an opportunity and they're doing an incredible job. So I just want to thank everybody in law enforcement. I know you agree with me on this. It's a great thing. And in particular, I have to thank the IACP for working with us on this effort and for endorsing important prison reform legislation all over the country. And we're doing federal legislation, but all over the country. You folks have been fantastic. Every single day of my administration, we will stand for law, order, and justice. Just 2 days ago, the Senate confirmed a supremely qualified nominee who will be a faithful defender of the rule of law. and will defend the United States Constitution, the newest Supreme Court Justice, Brett Kavanaugh. And I will tell you, when I decided on Brett, and we have tremendous talent in our legal system, but I decided on Brett, I said, he's flawless. He's a flawless person. The best student, the best scholar, the great intellect, incredible record over many years, and yet he's a young man. I said, Brett, congratulations. This is going to be a piece of cake getting you confirmed. This is going to be so easy. It should go quickly, nicely. Don't even worry. He was so thankful. He said, Mr. President, this is the greatest honor of my life. United States Supreme Court, the greatest of my life. So I haven't heard him say that again to me, but I think he still believes it. But he's a great person, and it was very, very unfair what happened to him. False charges, false accusations, horrible statements that were totally untrue, that he knew nothing about. Frankly, terms that he probably never heard in his life. He was this, he was that. He never even heard of these terms. It was a disgraceful situation brought about by people that are evil. And he toughed it out. We all toughed it out together. And I have to thank the Republican senators that fought so hard for this, because it wasn't easy. And it was a great honor to be involved in this situation. A lot of people would have said, oh, let's give it up, let's go a different direction. We don't give up. You don't give up. We don't give up. Just don't do it. It's going to be a great Supreme Court justice. Watch. A great one. He will be a great one. We will perform the swearing in tonight at 7 p.m. at the White House. That's very exciting. So I leave here and I go home and I swear in a man who will be a truly great United States Supreme Court Justice. That's going to be my honor. Thank you. And I'm going to tell him about the spontaneous applause before I even finish, you people. Because you knew what I was about to say, but I didn't even say it. And you started before I completed. So that's the kind of, that's all over the country. I'm doing rallies, and people are loving that man and loving that choice. So I think we're all going to be very happy. In order to keep every American safe, we are also making officer safety a top priority. In 2016, an officer was assaulted in America on an average of every 9 minutes. Is this even believable? Last week, 7 officers were shot in Florence, South Carolina, incredible state. 1 was killed. Numerous were really badly injured. Our hearts break for the family of fallen officer Terrence Caraway. We pray for his loved ones and for the officers who are still recovering. When a police officer is assaulted or killed, it is a wound inflicted upon our entire nation. It is. And I have to say this, I don't think you understand one thing, how much our country loves you and the job you do. You don't hear it from them. You don't hear it from them. They don't tell you the real feeling. They don't tell you the true feeling, but I know the true feeling. I know the true feeling. You don't hear it from the media, but I can tell you, I know the feeling. And these people, the people of our country, love you. So I just want you to know it direct. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love him too. He's just not my type. I'm sorry. He's not my type. Thank you. One of my very first actions as president was to direct my administration to take all necessary action to protect law enforcement from acts of violence against all of you. We believe that criminals who kill our police officers should immediately, with trial, but rapidly as possible, not 15 years later, 20 years later, get the death penalty. And importantly, we are also making sure you have the equipment you need to do the job. That's why we are allowing local police to access surplus.
All right, folks, we are getting ready for President Trump's rally in Indianapolis, Indiana, as he rallies with Vice President Mike Pence. And there's also going to be a special guest speaker, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We are getting everything ready right now. We should receive the footage from the cameras in just a few minutes. So please share the live stream on social media. Don't forget to smack the thumbs up button. And also don't forget to share this live stream through Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Reddit, any of those social media websites. As we get ready, we have footage from inside the venue where President Trump is going to have his rally. We're just making sure that all of the connections are good. We're making sure the feed is good. We're making sure that everything is perfect for you folks, because we always want you to have a good feed. If you guys share it on Twitter or on Facebook, I'll give you guys a quick shout out. Again, we do have footage from inside the venue where President Trump is going to have his rally in Indianapolis, Indiana, but we're just making sure that everything is correct as we get ready for the president. Thank you so much for choosing us as your stream of choice. It should be coming up on your screen in just a few minutes, and we'll go on from there. Thank you.
Plus military equipment. And we've been doing this from the very first day of my administration, whereas others didn't want you to have that equipment for very strange reasons. They said it looked too tough, it looked too strong. It's not a good look. You have people shooting at you and they're worried about your look. Someday you'll explain that one to me, please. I don't quite get it. Explain it. This equipment doesn't only protect your lives and safety, it protects the lives and safety of every citizen that you serve. During Hurricane Harvey, surplus military equipment helped rescue more than 9,000 people. We are also taking unprecedented action to help our local police fight the worst drug epidemic in our history, the opioid crisis, which took nearly 50,000 American lives last year. We have secured the most funding in history to give you the tools and resources that you need to hunt down the traffickers, stop these poisonous drugs from coming into our country, and to save American lives. In fact, today I'm announcing another $42.4 million for the high-intensity drug trafficking areas program to attack this epidemic. This grant funding will go to more than 50 innovative projects targeting the greatest drug threats facing the United States. And I will tell you that last year in the budget, this year also, last year we got $6 billion to work on the opioid problem at every level, including helping people, really helping people that are in need of help. Last year, we increased the average federal sentence for drug trafficking to its highest level since 2013. For the first time in years, we are ensuring there are real tough consequences for those who flood our streets with deadly poison. Thanks to your partnership, last year our brave ICE agents seized 1 million pounds of narcotics, including almost 7,000 pounds of heroin, and more than 2,300 1,500 pounds of fentanyl, saving thousands upon thousands of American lives. And this year we're way ahead of those numbers. Last year alone, ICE removed nearly 130,000 criminal aliens from our country. And as you know, my competitors don't like that. They don't like that. That's the other thing you're going to have to explain to me someday. Including thousands of vicious gang members and MS-13 predators. They're gone. They're gone. Yet these brave ICE officers have been subjected to shameless attacks by leading members of the Democrat Party, including outrageous calls to abolish ICE. And also, they're not a big help to us in law enforcement. They don't want to give us the kind of funds that you people are requesting. But you're getting them anyway because we're giving them to you. But they fight us at every turn. The Democrats fight us at every single turn, whether it's law enforcement or military. They fight us at every turn, but we win. We condemn the vilification of law enforcement and law enforcement officers. And we stand proudly with the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol and law enforcement in general. We also strongly oppose efforts from politicians to shackle local police departments and prevent them from cooperating with their federal partners. So let's see whether or not Chicago, as an example, locally accepts help. They need it. And we'll straighten it out fast. We're going to straighten it out fast. I assume they want to straighten it out. Sometimes I think maybe, is it possible that they don't? But we're going to be there. We're going to try and help them. Every day, these sanctuary city policies force the release of criminal aliens and gang members right back onto our streets, putting innocent civilians at grave risk, many people being killed. I will fight every day for your right to cooperate with federal law enforcement and to protect your communities as you wish. And I know most of you in this room, I think probably everybody in this room, works brilliantly with our federal authorities. And it's our honor to do it, including funding, by the way, including funding. Thank you. Last week, my administration also provided historic levels of funding to improve school safety. Through Stop School Violence grants, we are giving local schools and police departments the resources they need to hire more officers and train more teachers and better detect and address early warning signs of mental illness before it's too late. I've made a lot of strides in the last year. Heavy funding, but you've made a lot of strides. In every action we take, we are defending American safety and treasury. The extraordinary, we're just helping as much as we can, the extraordinary men and women who protect our communities. Here with us today are all four nominees for the IACP Police Officer of the Year Award. Officer Taylor Rust serves with the Plano, Texas Police Department. Good place. Where's Taylor? Taylor, where's Taylor? Come on up here, Taylor. Run up here. They'll let you up. Come on up. We'll get all of them up. Come on. A year ago, Taylor raced to the scene of an active shooter in a neighborhood, entered the house without any backup at all, and shot and killed the murderer. Turned out to be somebody with a lot of bad past, saving the lives of 4 civilians. Officer Rust, we salute you and your remarkable courage. You are a great gentleman. Stay up here with me, okay? Come on, say a couple of words.
Thank you. Thank you. You'll have to forgive me. I'm much more comfortable in the situation Mr. President described than being up here. It's a tremendous honor for me to be here. I appreciate everything IACP has done for us. My family, my wife Amber is here. She's been a tremendous support as well through this whole thing. It's been a very humbling experience for me, and it's been an honor to be spoken in the same breath with the other three officers that are sitting over there today. Thank you very much.
That was a good job. He'll be running for office soon. You watch. Thank you very much, Tim. Last May, Officer Mark Dallas was on duty at Dixon High School in Illinois when he heard gunshots. Within, listen to this, 3 seconds, he was at the scene, right outside the auditorium where the entire senior class was gathered and was in a lot of trouble. The shooter fled and fired shots at him, but Officer Dallas chased him down before a single student was injured. Officer Dallas's son, Joshua, was one of the seniors inside of that auditorium. Afterwards, Joshua said, "I wasn't scared for my life at all because I knew my dad would protect us." How good is that? Thank you. Officer Dallas, where are you? Officer Dallas, come on up here. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So his son had a little confidence in him. That's not bad. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Public speaking's not my best, but I'm extremely nervous. Mr. President, I appreciate everything, the support you give us, and I'm honored to be here with the IACP, the other nominees. My son said he wasn't scared because Dad was out there. I was dad to 182 other kids in that gymnasium. So I just want to say thank you. I'm honored and blessed to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful story. And your son was right. In October of last year, Washington State Trooper Nathaniel Dawson pursued a car that violated a traffic law. When the car stopped, 2 gunmen began shooting at Trooper Dawson and shooting very violently. Despite heavy fire, Trooper Dawson got out of his vehicle and fired back until the shooters ran away and were later apprehended. They were very dangerous criminals. Our streets are safer, and our criminals recoil in fear because of brave officers like Trooper Dawson, and I want to thank you. Come up, please, Trooper Dawson.
Wow, it's a great honor to be here tonight. Thank you all for coming, Mr. President. I think we all would say the same. We're just doing our job, and to be recognized is just extra. So thank you again.
These people have a lot of respect for you. They don't sit down when you're up here, huh? They have a lot of respect, right? That's great. Beautiful. Finally, Sergeant Luis Celis of the Doral, I know it well, Florida Police Department. They are fantastic. Responded to the call that you all read about, big story at the time, that a shooter was in the lobby of Trump National Doral. Can you believe this is happening to me? And I didn't say put this man. I knew what he did, but they put him. Threatening a lot of people that were in the hotel, including the employees. Sergeant Celis entered the building, engaged in a vicious shooting attack, and captured the criminal before anyone was hurt, which was incredible, actually. Sergeant Sellis, that was really a job well done. People are still talking about it. It was an amazing job. Please come up.
I guess it's a tough act to follow what the guy said over here. Thanks everybody for being here. My wife.
Dialysis is a godsend for me.
Congratulations to everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Fantastic. And just to conclude, I have to say in each of these stories, we see the unmatched strength and character and courage of our amazing heroes in blue. Every day, our police officers race into darkened alleys and deserted streets and onto doorsteps of the most hardened criminal. People you don't want to be dealing with, and you deal with them well. Incredible. They see the worst of humanity, and they respond with the best of the American spirit. America's police officers have earned the everlasting gratitude of our nation. In moments of danger and despair, you are the reason we never lose hope, because there are men and women in uniform who face down evil and stand for all that's good and just and decent and right. No matter what threat you face.
All right, folks. So the president has just landed in Indianapolis, Indiana. So make sure you guys stay tuned. The president is set to come out and deliver his speech in just a few minutes. But this is live footage from Indianapolis, Indiana, where President Trump has just landed, and Air Force One. He hasn't come out yet, but he just landed right now. So please share the live stream on social media. We'll have the live footage from inside the venue in just a few minutes. We'll switch over. Thank you. All right, folks, so let me show you guys real quick. Oh, the president is coming out right now. This is live footage, folks, from Indianapolis, Indiana. And also, let me show you guys real quick. We're also in the venue where President Trump is set to have his rally soon. So please share the live stream on social media. If you guys have shared it on Facebook, Twitter, thank you so much. We'll give you guys a quick shout out if you guys share it on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook. As the president is set to come out. This is live footage from the Indianapolis airport where President Trump has just landed Air Force One, and it should start soon. Thank you so much. right, so we're going to be giving some shout outs of everyone that has been sharing the live stream on social media. Thank you so much for your support. And we have Truth Seeker. Thank you so much, Truth Seeker, for sharing the live stream, like always. Whoop. There he is. There's the president. President Trump just arriving right now in Indianapolis, Indiana, where he is going to be rallying. As you can see, Vice President Mike Pence is right behind him, folks. Vice President Mike Pence is right behind him. So they're both going to be speaking. There's the president. And Vice President Mike Pence. This rally is not at a hangar or at an airport like the last few rallies have been. This one is actually at a high school auditorium. And let me show you guys real quick after the president goes into the presidential limousine. I think he's in now. All right, so let me switch over to the live footage inside the venue where President Trump is set to deliver his speech to a lot of people, folks. This is an auditorium at a high school, but there is tons of people in Indianapolis, Indiana. And this is live footage. So let me give a quick couple of shout outs here of everyone that is sharing this live stream on social media. Let me see real quick. We have Lola Dog. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Let's see, who else do we have on here? All right, so we're going to turn that off. All right, so we have, let's see, who else do we have on here? Let's see. I knew that we had a quite a few. Okay, here we go. Takei's, thank you so much. Also, Mayor Tawasha, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Let's see, who else do we have on here, folks? Let's see, who else do we have on here? I knew we have quite a bit of Patriots sharing the live stream on social media, but I just got to find them real quick. Let's see here. All right, so we have Jesus Martinez, Gorepi Studios. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. If you guys share the live stream on social media, I'll give you guys a quick shout out. The president is on his way. He has already landed in Indiana, and he is headed to the venue where he is going to deliver his speech in Indianapolis, Indiana. As you guys can see on the bottom right, it says President Trump rally in Belgrade, Montana tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. There's going to be 2 rallies tomorrow once again, just like today. There was a rally earlier in West Virginia, and now this is live footage from the rally in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing the live stream on social media. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All right, folks. So I'd like to give a quick thank you to Milan and also Dorothy. Thank you so much for supporting us on PayPal. If you'd like to help out Golden State Times, there's a link in the description below for PayPal. That's a very good way of helping us get to the next rally, as you guys can see on the screen. President Trump is having a rally in Belgrade, Montana tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you guys join us. We also live streamed a rally in West Virginia earlier today. This is the second rally. Tomorrow, there's going to be 2 rallies also. So 4 rallies in 2 days. That's awesome. So please share this live stream on social media. This is live coverage. We are live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Please share the live stream on Twitter or on Facebook, and we'll give you guys a quick shout out as a thank you. Thank you so much. You can also use Super Chat to help us out. Super Chat is a very good way of helping out the channel, get us to the next rally, and help us stay on the air. Thank you so much. Press 1 on the chat. This looks like it's going to be a pumped up, high energy crowd. Look at the size of this crowd, folks. And that's just nothing, folks. When the president comes out, we're going to be panning the crowd, and you guys are going to see how crazy it is. And this is in a high school auditorium, believe it or not. It's crazy. All right, folks. So you guys are only going to be able to see this at Golden State Times. Check this out. All right, so let's compare the crowd. Let's compare the crowd of a Trump rally, which you're watching right now, and then let's move over to a Democrat rally that Obama is actually going to be speaking at, so you guys can see the difference. Look at this. Boom. This is for Obama, folks. This is a Democrat rally for Obama. Believe it or not. Look at this. Look at this. There's like 10 people in the background. Now let's switch over to a President Trump rally. Boom. Look at that. Massive. And that's what we're talking about, folks. That's what President Trump was talking about in 2016. Look at the size of this crowd. And that's just not, that's only the background of it. That's not everybody else all over the place. But we're saving that until the president comes out. Don't think that, we don't want to do it right now. No, we're waiting for that until the president comes out so you can see the full scope. Once again, let's do it one more time. Obama crowd, Trump crowd, Democrat crowd, Republican crowd. That's what we're talking about, folks. Don't worry. There is no such thing as a blue wave. It's not coming for anything. It's a blue puddle is what it is.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh,
All right, folks, I would like to give a quick shout out to Linda Marie. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. John Roney, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Let's see, who else do we have on here, folks? Thank you very much to Ms. Drain the Media. That's a very good one. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Also, thank you to Elin Enterprises. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Truth Seeker and Wake Up, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. All right, folks, if you guys share the live stream on Twitter or on Facebook, I'll give you guys a quick shout out as a thank you for your help and sharing the live stream. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button below the video. This is the second rally. President Trump was in West Virginia earlier today, and now he is in Indianapolis, Indiana. He has just arrived. He arrived a few minutes ago. We actually showed a little bit of it. So the president is in Indiana with Vice President Mike Pence. And there's also a guest speaker today. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much. If you'd like to help out the channel, there's a few ways of doing it. One will be PayPal. The link is in the description below. That helps us get to the next rally. Also, you can use Super Chat. That's also a good way of helping us get to the next Trump rally. If you can contribute through PayPal or Super Chat, that's fine. That's okay. Sharing this live stream on social media, sending it through a text message or an email, however you can send it out there, that will be amazing too. If you guys click the thumbs up button, share the live stream, and are active on the chat, then YouTube has no choice but to promote this and to also recommend this to more Americans. So if you would like to help us Red Pill America, share this stream, click the thumbs up button, and be active on the chat. Say hello. We will not bite. We'll be nice. We'll be awesome, funny, however you want. Just make sure you guys do that. Thank you so much. All right, folks. I was going to ask you guys a quick question. All right, so this is the rally in Indianapolis, Indiana, where you guys see live footage. It's at the Southport High School, but as I remember, this must be a massive, massive high school, because as I remember it, my high school auditorium was not this big, or my high school, my auditorium in high school wasn't this big. You know, this is a massive, massive high school then. This is craziness. All right, folks, so I'd like to give a quick thank you to Edmund and also to Dolores. Thank you so much for supporting us through PayPal. Thank you so much for your support. I'd like to give a thank you to Life is Great Again. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Dingle, thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. Let's see, who else do we have on here? Grain of Salt 2, thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. We also have Kathleen. Thank you so much, Kathleen. And Judith. Thank you so much, Judith, for sharing the live stream on social media. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Thank you so much to Keenan. Thank you so much, Keenan Baxter, for sharing the live stream on social media. We want to make sure that everyone that we're giving a shout out to is actually sharing our stream compared to somebody else's. So Brock, thank you so much, Brock, for sharing the live stream on social media. Let's see here. We'll be giving more shout outs before the president comes out, but he's set to come out very, very soon. This is your 10-minute warning. So make sure you go get your coffees, your hot chocolates, your beers, your whatever you want to drink or whatever you want to eat. The president is about to come out soon. Thank you so much. Beers for Kavanaugh. All right, folks, let's pump up the crowd in the chat. Do you guys remember this song that we used to play at the beginning or during the rally during the 2016 presidential election? So here it is. Vote for Trump. We're going to be playing it right now.
In recent years, this country's gone to hell. And the crack's getting bigger on the side of that Liberty Bell. Well, Clinton, Obama, and the Democratic crew sure did a number on me and you. It wasn't my vote, you can blame yourselves for that. But we got a chance to turn things around if you get your butt up off the ground and understand we're all gonna have to work. This big old country was built on sweat, and if we're gonna make it great again, you're gonna get wet. But the first things first, we all gotta vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. And to hell with the rest, he'll get us over the hump. And down the road, we'll all go, and the wall will get built by Mexico. But first things first, we all gotta vote for Trump. He understands the working man, tells the truth that we can understand. If you don't like it, you can all just kiss our ass. Kiss our ass. He pays his own way, don't take no crap. Gonna bring back country, get rid of rap. And if nothing else, we can all thank Donald for that. Thank you, Donald. Vote for Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. To hell with the rest, he'll get us over the hump. And down the road, we'll all go, and the wall will get built by Mexico. But the first things first, we all gotta vote for Trump. Well, little Marco and Lion Ted, it's time to go home and crawl in bed. The campaign's over and the big fat ladies sing. And Hillary Clinton don't stand a chance with her preacher hair and her old man pants. Take Bill home, good God, he's getting old. Now let's vote for Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Yeah, to hell with the rest, he'll get us over the hump. And down the road, baby, we'll all go, and the wall's getting built by Mexico. Well, first things first, we all gotta vote for Trump. Jesus says, vote for Trump.
All right, folks. So we would like to give a couple shout outs here to, let's see, give me 1 second. We have Edmund. Thank you so much once again. And Dolores, thank you so much for your support. I just wanted to go also on microphone and let you guys know about the 2020 election. I know that a lot of you Patriots love the Vote for Trump song that we play every once in a while on these rallies, but we used to play it all the time in the 2016 presidential election. So what we're doing is we're actually looking for country singers or bands or anything like that that want to write country songs regarding the president, the 2020 election, so we can play them during the rallies of the 2020 election. So we already found a few and we're looking for more. Right now we're still looking for a few more, but we have really good songs that are going to be coming up for the presidential election. So presidential rallies for Trump 2020, we're going to have brand new music, country music, very patriotic, very awesome, banging, like you guys heard the Vote for Trump song, just like that. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. Before the president comes out, all right, before the president comes out, I don't know if you guys remember this song. Let me see if I can play it real quick before the president comes out. But this is some of the songs that we used to play, when it was the 2016 presidential election. But let me see if I can find them real quick. So you guys might remember some of these songs. Whenever President Trump will come out, we used to play this song.
Well, hello, Indiana. It is great to be back home again in the Hoosier State. Just a stone's throw away from where Karen and I raised our kids, right here on the south side of Indianapolis. And just 4 days away from another great victory all across Indiana and all across America when we send Republican majorities back to Washington, D.C. And I got to tell you, it really is great to be here with a friend of mine. And the man that Indiana voted overwhelmingly to make the 45th president of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. I'm here today because I stand with President Trump. And I'm Mike Braun. You know, it's the greatest privilege of my life to serve as Vice President to President Donald Trump. He's a man of his word. He's a man of action. And there's only one way that you can describe the last 2 years in America under his leadership. It's been 2 years of action, 2 years of results. It's been 2 years of promises made and promises kept. But we're just getting started. You know, the president promised to fight for American workers, businesses, and American jobs, and President Trump delivered. We cut taxes across the board for working families and businesses in Indiana. We rolled back red tape at record levels and unleashed American energy. We fought for trade deals that are free, fair, and reciprocal, like the new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that puts Indiana workers and Indiana farmers first. And the results have been huge. I don't know if you've seen the jobs report today. Just in the last 2 years, 4.5 million new jobs created, 450,000 jobs in manufacturing alone. Paychecks are growing at their fastest rate in a decade, and the unemployment rate is now at a 50-year low. Jobs are back. Confidence is back. In a word, America is back, and we're just getting started, Indiana. And thanks to the support of Republican majorities in Congress, we've been doing more than just jobs. We've been rebuilding our military and restoring the arsenal of democracy. We've taken the fight to terrorists on our terms, on their soil. And ISIS is on the run. Their caliphate has fallen. And we will soon drive ISIS from the face of the earth. We've been standing with the men and women of law enforcement without apology, giving them the resources and respect they deserve. And under President Trump's leadership, we've been enforcing our laws, securing our borders, and we've already started to build that wall. And as another migrant caravan is making its way north, President Trump has already deployed more than 4,000 troops to the southern border. We've taken steps to close the loopholes in our law, and we've made it clear to this caravan they will not be allowed to enter the United States of America illegally. And I couldn't be more proud to stand with a president who stood without apology for all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Declaration and our Constitution, like the unalienable right to life and the right to keep and bear arms in the Second Amendment of the Constitution. You know, with the strong support of Senator Todd Young, we've been appointing strong conservatives to the federal courts at every level. Like the newest justice to the Supreme Court of the United States, Justice Brett Kavanaugh. But for all we've done, I got to tell you, I know him well. That's just what this president calls a good start. And that's why President Trump and I need Indiana to reelect strong Republican majorities on Capitol Hill, and we need Indiana to vote to elect Mike Braun as your next United States Senator. Mike Braun is a job creator who built a business right here in the Hoosier State. He's a conservative who will fight for Indiana jobs and Indiana values every day in our nation's capital. I know Mike Braun will stand with our president. He'll always put Indiana first, which is a lot more than you can say about Senator Joe Donnelly. My fellow Hoosiers, you deserve to know. When the time came to cut your taxes, Joe voted no. When the time came to repeal and replace Obamacare, Joe voted no. Even when the time came to confirm Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Joe sided with the search and destroy tactics of the Democrats in the Senate, and Joe voted no. Well, Indiana, the time has come to vote no on Joe. The time has come to elect Mike Braun to the United States Senate. And we can make it happen in just 4 days. Now, I keep hearing about this blue wave coming across the heartland. But I'm going to tell you, if all of us do all we need to do between now and Election Day, I think that blue wave's going to hit a red wall right here in the Hoosier State when we send Mike Braun to the United States Senate. My fellow Hoosiers, let me just say from my heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the honor you've given me to serve this state and to serve our nation as your vice president. It's the greatest honor of my life. Karen and I will always be grateful for the support and prayers of the people of Indiana. And I want you to know, we feel them every day. Looking out at all of you tonight, I just know, with your continued support, with strong conservative leaders representing Indiana in Congress and at the state level, with Mike Braun in the Senate, President Donald Trump in the White House, and with God's help, I believe we will make Indiana safer and more prosperous than ever before. And this man will make America great again. Now, it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you my friend, the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
Thank you, Indiana. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you for giving America a truly amazing person in Mike Pence. He's a great, great man and a great vice president. Thank you, Indiana. Thank you. Great. I'm thrilled to be back in this great state with thousands of hardworking American patriots. We are here to celebrate our amazing achievements together. And by the way, how were those jobs numbers today? How were they? How were they? And to make sure America's incredible comeback continues moving full speed ahead. In just 4 days, the people of Indiana are going to send Mike Braun to the United States Senate so we can keep making America great again. Thank you. This election will decide whether we build on the extraordinary prosperity that we've unleashed or whether we let the radical Democrats take control of Congress and take a giant wrecking ball to our economy and to our future. It's not going to happen. America now has the best economy in the history of our country. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Way ahead of schedule. And if I would have said that during the campaign, where I spent a lot of days and nights with you, and I was with another special friend of ours, Bobby Knight, who's going to be speaking in a couple of minutes. The great Bobby Knight. But if I would have told you the kind of numbers that we've achieved, nobody would have believed it, and they would not have let us get away with it. But we would have gotten away with it anyway. We would have gotten away with it. It turned out that we were underestimating as opposed to overestimating. In the last month alone, we added another 250,000 jobs, and nearly 600,000 Americans returned to the workforce. Nobody would believe it. We've created 4.5 million new jobs since the election. Nobody would have believed that. The unemployment rate just fell to the lowest level in more than 50 years. And more Americans are working today than ever before. How about that? But how is that statistic? How is that? How is that statistic? Think of that. I mean, of all statistics, in the history of our country, think of this. More Americans are working right now today in this country than have ever worked in this country before. It's an amazing statistic. That's going to be fun on the debate stage when we debate one of the lefties. And they're going to be saying what a good job they're going to do by raising your taxes and all. And we're going to say, but we have more people working now than ever worked. You know, I think we're going to win that debate. African American, Hispanic American, and Asian American unemployment have all reached the lowest levels in the history of our country. And in case you haven't noticed, in the great state of Indiana, we are putting our steel workers back to work at a level that nobody thought possible. It's one of the great stories. It's one of the great stories. You know, we taxed all of the steel dumping from other countries that don't exactly have us in mind. And we taxed them at 25%. And guess what? Our steel industry is one of the hottest industries in the country right now. It's expanding like crazy. And right here in Indiana, Steel Dynamics has just announced a $75 million investment in Columbia City and a $400 million investment in Terre Haute. You know that, right? It's a lot of money. And just 3 months ago, United States Steel announced a $750 million investment in a place called Gary, Indiana. The fact is, after years of rebuilding other countries, we are finally rebuilding our country. It's about time. It's about time. Republicans passed a massive tax cut for working families, and we will soon follow it up with another 10% tax cut for the middle class. Under Republican leadership, America is booming, America is thriving, and America is winning like never before because we are finally putting America first. But if crying Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the legendary Maxine Waters, if they take power, they will try to erase our gains and eradicate our progress. Can't let that happen. The Democrats want to raise your taxes. They want to restore job-killing regulations. They want to shut down your steel mills, and that will happen. They want to take away your real health care and use socialism to turn America into Venezuela. Lovely place. Lovely place. And Democrats want to totally open borders. How do you like that sound? Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Just come on. You're right. And we're building the wall. We got $1.6 billion. We have another $1.6 billion. We have a third $1.6 billion coming. But we want to build it quickly at one time. You're right. And we're building the wall. We got $1.6 billion. We have another $1.6 billion. We have a third $1.6 billion coming. But we want to build it quickly at one time. We don't want to do it piecemeal, but it started. It's doing well. We want the money now from the Democrats. We need their votes. Or an easier way, elect more Republicans. We don't need their votes. The Democrats want to invite caravan after caravan. And you see we have more caravans forming. You do see that. Gee, I wonder how that happens. I wonder how. I think they overplayed their hand on this one, folks. Because between Justice Kavanaugh and the caravans, you people are energized. And they want these caravans full of illegal aliens to flood into our country, overwhelming your schools, depleting your resources, and endangering your communities. Republicans want strong borders, no drugs, no gangs, and we want no caravans. Thank you. The choice in this election could not be more simple. A Republican Congress means more jobs and less crime. That's not bad. Think of that, how beautiful. More jobs, less crime. How nice. How nice. So how do you get elected when you go, let's say, less crime? Hey, folks, it's very simple. We got to stop the crime. We got to close up the borders. We want people to come into our country, but they have to come in legally and they have to come in through merit. They have to come in through merit. And by the way, at 3.7% unemployment, a 50-year low, we need people to come in because we have companies coming back into our country. Some of them left years ago, and they're coming back into Indiana and Michigan and Ohio and North Carolina and South Carolina and Pennsylvania and Florida and every state. They're pouring back in because you know what? As two of the executives told me 2 days ago, we want to be where the action is. That's right. We have the economy. We have now the hottest economy in the world. When did you hear that last? So this Tuesday, vote Republican. We are thrilled to be joined tonight by an Indiana legend, a man who's become a friend of mine, who truly knows what winning is all about. And I have to tell you this quick story. Look, it's Bobby Knight. He's the greatest, okay? But I have to tell you. So before I ran, but my name was being thrown out, I get a call. I told a little bit. Maybe you heard this, but it's a great story. I get a call, and my secretary comes in. Sir, do you know somebody named Bobby Knight? I said, well, I don't know him, but I know of him. He's a great, great coach. If it's the same guy, but it's probably not. So find out. They say, yes, sir, it's the coach. I said, let me check it. So, you got a lot of crank calls, so I figured maybe it's 90% a crank call. I pick up, hello, Trump? This is Bobby Knight. I said, that's him. Nobody could imitate that. Nobody. This is Bobby Knight, and you got to run for president. I said, well, I'm thinking about it. It was a year before. I'm thinking about it, but he said, you got to run. You'll do better. You're the only one going to turn the ship around. You got to run for president. I said, you know what, Bobby? If you could, I am thinking about it, Bobby, seriously, and if you could, how about giving me your number, and I'll call you if I decide to do it, especially when I come to campaign in a place called Indiana, right? Right? So I said, Bobby, could you give me the number? And he gives me the number. I write it down, and I write it down, and I put it. And on my desk, I'm a hard worker. I have a lot of stuff. I'm doing deals all over the places before this whole political thing got started. And I have 2 or 3 piles of stacks of paper. They're like 2 or 3 feet high each. Even number, because then 2 people are in center, right? In the pile. But I never left center stage, and I'm doing well, and I'm going, and we had some competition, but it was fine, and everything's good. And now I'm getting ready to come to a place called Indiana, and a friend of mine who's also a great friend of Mike Pence calls me and said, you're doing really well in Indiana. You're going to blow everyone away, but do you ever know a guy named Bobby Knight? And I said, yeah, I don't know him, but he called me about a year ago, and he really wanted me to run. He said, well, if you could ever get Bobby Knight's endorsement, you would absolutely seal the great state of Indiana. So I'm at my desk, and I have these stacks, and honestly, there are thousands of pages. I can't even tell you. I have this massive desk because it keeps a lot of stuff, and they're just thousands of pages. And I hung up, I said, let me see if I can find his number. I remember I wrote it down, I put it over here. Let me just see if I can find his number. And I go over here, and I take stack number 1, which is literally 2 or 3 feet up in the air. Pages, thousands. And I go, let me see. And I lift it in the middle. And there's this little index card. And it says Bobby Knight and the phone number. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. And then I look up and I say, thank you, God, thank you. That was from God. That's amazing. I didn't look. I didn't like thumb through. I just lifted it up, and there it was. It was the craziest thing. Anyway, I call up Bobby Knight. Ding, ding, ding. He picks up. I go, Bobby? He says, I've been waiting for you to call. And that was the beginning of a great romance. It really was. He is a tough cookie. And you know what? I just took out something. I said, let me, look, we all know he's a great coach, but we don't even know how great a coach. Bobby Knight, as you know, he coached in a place called Indiana. I won't ask you how it's doing since he left. I won't ask. But it's going to do well. And I hear you have a very good coach. I do. I hear you have a very good coach now. Is that true? I hear you have a very good coach. But he coached the U.S. Olympic team in 1984, won the gold medal. He won 3 NCAA titles at a place called the University of Indiana. He was put in the Hall of Fame in 1991. Bobby Knight was the last coach to have an undefeated season. And that surprises me. Is that true? That surprises me. Then I asked Bobby, I just asked him, I said, why is that? How come you'd think with all, you have some of these teams, they're great. The guys leave as freshmen, they go, they play in the NBA, and they're great. Why? He said, no. You play so many games, 30, 32 games, you go in the playoffs. He said, if one guy has a little bit of a cold hand, you lose the game. Or if one guy has a hot hand for a good team, you could lose the game. You play a lot of games. Because that surprised me. The last coach to have an undefeated team. And by the way, I told Bobby, if you want Bobby, this has nothing to do with politics, but it's interesting because I think most of you people like sports and most of you people, you're Indiana, you like basketball. I said, if he wants, he can tell the Larry Bird story because it's a great story. I like Larry Bird. I don't know if he likes me, but I don't really care. I think Larry Bird was a great basketball player. Do we agree? I think we agree. But he has a great Larry Bird story. But listen to this. Bobby Knight won 902 games. He's 3rd all time. This guy, and I'll tell you, he could have gone years longer. He is a tremendous guy. But he was with me before I started. You understand. He was with me literally right from the beginning. And I'd like to ask the great Bobby Knight to come up. Thank you.
I want to thank all you people from Indiana because we won a hell of a lot of games with Indiana playing. There was a great president many years ago, Harry Truman. the American public got a little thing to let him know how much they appreciated it. It was something called, like, "Give 'em hell, Harry." Give 'em hell, Harry. And I'd like you to join with me in saying something. No, he's already given him hell. I want to join me in saying something else. Just like they said it to Harry Truman, who was a great president, and so is he. And what I want you to say is very simply this: go get 'em, Donald. 1, 2, go get 'em, Donald. 3, go get 'em, Donald. One thing I would have done, it takes great defense to win in basketball. Great defense. I think I'd have had to wait on Donald for a little while until he became a great defender. And that's what he's been. He's been a great defender of the United States of America.
What a great guy. Winner. He's a winner. We like winners, right, Governor? We like winners. Well, that's special. You know, don't tell Bobby, but he left his pad up here and his pen. I'm going to keep it because I can sell it for a lot of money. Thank you very much. A lot of love in this room, a lot of love in this state. We are honored to be joined tonight by many terrific Indiana Republicans, including a man who has done an incredible job, and it's not easy to follow Mike Pence. Governor Eric Holcomb, you have done a great job, Governor. Thank you. Thank you. Great job. Great job, Eric. And a congressman who I've gotten to know, and he has a great style. He is a gentleman. He is a champion. Todd Rokita. He's here. Where is Todd? Where is he? Thanks, Todd. Great job, Todd. Thank you. Thank you. And with us tonight are two terrific Republican candidates. Please get them in office. Please go out and vote. They're terrific. Jim Baird and Greg Pence. Does anybody know Greg Pence? Thanks. Thank you, fellas. Thanks, Greg. They have good genes in the Pence family, don't they? If you don't want to be saying the words Speaker Pelosi for the next 2 years, you got to go out and vote for Greg and Jim and a Republican Congress. We need it. It's going to be a very interesting day. Tuesday is going to be a very interesting day. They're not going to beat the day from 2 years ago, but it's going to be interesting nevertheless. Was that a great time we had 2 years ago? Finally, I'm proud to introduce the next United States Senator. I'll tell you, before I bring him up, I just want to say that Mike Braun is not a career politician. He's a very successful businessman and a patriot who will fight every single day of his life for the people of Indiana. He's a fighter. He's a winner. Very successful guy. He's a very successful guy. He didn't need this. I didn't need it either, by the way. But we're having fun. You know why? We're winning. We're winning. Mike Braun is tough on crime, great on jobs, and he will always support our wonderful vets, our military, and our law enforcement, our police. And a vote for Mike's opponent, Joe Donnelly, is a vote to make crying Chuck Schumer the Senate Majority Leader. We can't do that. Can't do that. A vote for any Democrat this November is a vote to put the radical Democrats in charge of the House, the Senate, and every congressional committee. That's not good for Indiana. It's not good for our country. And according to the Center for Effective Lawmaking, listen to this. You have to listen to this. It's very important. Joe Donnelly has been rated the least effective Democrat in the United States Senate. Think of that. Rated the least effective, and that's why they call him Sleeping Joe. You got to get out. Just get out and vote. We don't have to do this. Just get out and vote. Joe Donnelly voted against your tax cuts, and he joined the Democrat mob to vote against Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And no man, nobody was ever abused like then Judge Kavanaugh. Nobody was ever abused. What they did to him, what the Democrats did to him, is a disgrace. But he's going to be on the bench now. He's going to be in the United States Supreme Court, along with Justice Gorsuch, for many, many years. Donnelly voted to give free welfare to illegals, and he joined every single other Senate Democrat to sponsor Dianne Feinstein's open border bill. You remember her, right? The people of Indiana do not have a one-week memory cycle. In fact, the people of Indiana have about a 60-year memory cycle. Dianne Feinstein, remember that? Was that horrible? Were you leaking? Did you leak it? Right? John Cornyn said, did you leak it? No. No, I don't think so. Did we leak it? No, you didn't leak it. Oh, no, we didn't leak it. That was the worst body language. John Cornyn, one simple question, did you leak it? And she choked. No, I don't think so. Well, in other words, she leaked it, right? She leaked it. She leaked it. But that was a disgrace, what we watched up there. Right? What we watched up there. It's no surprise that Joe Donnelly is holding a rally this weekend with Barack H. Obama. Barack Obama. I watched him speak today, He had a very small crowd. They don't talk about that. And they never talk about how big our crowds are. Never. I always say, when I get home to our First Lady Melania, who's great, you think she's great. People love our First Lady. And you think it's easy to be First Lady when you're married to me? You think it's easy? People love our First Lady. And I always say, honey, let me ask you, how did the crowd look tonight? They didn't show it. I said, oh. But she said, but the sound is amazing. The sound. You know, like in Houston, we had 22,000 people in the arena, thousands outside for Ted Cruz. He's doing well. You don't hear about it anymore, right? Remember? He was in a little trouble. We had the rally. You haven't heard that anymore. He's doing great. They're all doing great. Mike Braun is doing great. Mike Braun is doing great. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll ask the media to turn that camera and show them this room, please. Would you do that? They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't like to turn the camera. You know, when I first started, we had big crowds. Lists like center stage, we had big crowds right from the beginning. When I first started, I thought that the cameras were like fixed. They couldn't turn. You know, because it's like modern equipment and maybe it can't turn because it's got so much stuff and who knows, and they would never turn it. And then we had a couple of people that were a little noisy, you know. They caused a little problem, and they were back in like a corner. And that camera turned like a pretzel, and that's when I realized. Because they wanted to make us look bad, and when they had a little bit of a problem in a little corner of the room, that sucker, I've never seen a camera turned at that angle, upside down and backwards. Upside down. Oh, what they can do with that modern equipment. And I went for 4 rallies, and I said, the reason is, the cameras cannot turn. We were wrong. So Obama gave a rally in front of a very small group of people tonight. And in the rally, he talked about honesty, how he has to be honest. But he talked about you can have your plan, you can have your doctor. How many times did he say that? 28 times, right? He doesn't talk about that, and we could go into it, but let's stay pleasant, right? Let's stay pleasant. Because we don't want to go back to the Obama days of low wages, high unemployment, rising crime, open borders, far left judges, oppressive regulations, horrible, horrible, horrible trade deals, disastrous foreign policy. Look at the mess I inherited in North Korea, and look at how well we're doing now. And terrible health care. If you want prosperity for your family, safety for your children, and security for your country, vote for Mike Braun. Mike, come on up. Mike Braun. Come on up, Mike.
So, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be on a stage with the President of the United States, the VP, and Bobby Knight. How can it get any better? Only in America, only in Indiana. When I decided to do this 14 and a half months ago, I never would have done it, would not have wasted my time if this man did not do what he did. My wife and family are right over there, but I'll never forget the night. I did turn the TV off at 2:15. I thought it might go later. Went to bed. I'd only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That's all I need. Not as good as the Prez here. I know he gets by on less. But I'll never forget getting up that next morning. And when I saw on the TV, President-elect Trump. That's the reason I'm here. If it hadn't happened, I'd be hunkered down in southern Indiana wondering how to survive. Thank goodness. So, my opponent, who calls himself the hired help, I think you need to do more than that to deserve to be reelected. Thank you. He's the least effective Democratic senator. Sounds like the tired help. He takes all his marching orders from Chuck Schumer. Let's make him the fired help. Let's retire Joe Donnelly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Very successful guy. Did a great job, and this is what he wants to do. And he's going to be very successful at doing what you want to do, which is a lot of great things. So I just want to thank you. And, Mike, we want to thank you for doing this because it's not easy. It's not easy. Thank you, Mike. If Democrats get the majority, one of their first projects will be the socialist takeover of American health care. The Democrat plan would obliterate Medicare and eliminate Medicare Advantage for more than 360,000 Indiana seniors who totally depend on it. Republicans will protect Medicare for our great seniors who earned it and, frankly, have paid for it. And Republicans will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. Democrats' plan to destroy health care also includes raiding Medicare to fund benefits for illegal immigrants. I'm sure you don't mind. Does anybody mind? Nobody minds, right? As we speak, Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to violate our laws, overrun our borders, and totally bankrupt our country, because that's what's going to end up. They want to sign illegal aliens up for free health care, free welfare, free education. But what do they really want? They want them to vote because they're going to vote for the Democrat. Illegal immigration costs American taxpayers more than $100 billion every single year, more than 3 times the entire state budget of Indiana. We need to use our precious resources to help our fellow Americans who respect our laws, not illegal caravans who break into our borders and break our laws. Democrat immigration policies not only drain our treasury, but they threaten our communities. Nearly 100% of heroin in the United States enters through the southern border, along with roughly 90% of the cocaine, the majority of meth, and a substantial portion of the ultra-lethal fentanyl killing our youth all over our country. These drugs destroy the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans, and 70,000 Americans every year die from these drugs. Last year alone, our brave ICE officers arrested, listen to this number, more than 127,000 criminal aliens, and they want to get rid of ICE. Can you imagine? Yet Democrats want to abolish ICE. They want to get rid of ICE. These are great patriots. These are great people. These are people that do a job that nobody in this room wants to do. I don't want to do it. How about you? This guy could do it, I think. But there aren't too many. They want to turn America into a giant sanctuary for violent predators and MS-13 killers. A blue wave would equal a crime wave, very simple. And a red wave equals jobs and security. Republicans believe our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. And Republicans will always stand with the heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement. Border security is also a woman's issue. Women want safe neighborhoods for their families, great schools and health care for their children, and they want criminals to be thrown in jail or thrown the hell out of our country. Remember during the election, my election, 16, they were saying, well, I don't think he's going to do well with women. I love women. They're the greatest. I like them much more than I like the men. But I love, and here's the thing. And then remember after we won, they came in, they didn't know what was going on. They were devastated. They said, he did unbelievably well with women. What happened, women? And now they're saying the same thing. They're saying, but they say it weakly, because they want to say it quickly, get it over with. I don't think he'll do well with women. But we tried this one 2 years ago. That didn't work out too well. We did so well. And we're going to do well with women again because they do want security. They want security. They don't want these people coming into our country. You just saw the report that was put out. In the caravan, more than 300 people have criminal records and have serious problems that we don't want to get involved with, folks. And we want people coming in, but they have to come in legally. I'm sorry. This election is about security, and this election is about prosperity. For years you watched as we let foreign countries plunder our wealth, shutter our factories, and steal our jobs. But those days, if you haven't noticed, are over. We have added 500,000 manufacturing jobs since the election, soon to go to 600,000. Including 32,000 manufacturing jobs in just the last month. And do you remember the previous administration? We're not going to get manufacturing jobs anymore. I said, really? Tell that to your great governor. Tell that to your great governor, right? You're getting them here, Governor, aren't you, huh? And these are the great jobs. These are great jobs. High-paying jobs, talented people. I recently announced that we are replacing the horrible NAFTA deal, one of the worst trade deals, with an incredible brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. The USMCA is a giant victory for Indiana farmers, manufacturers, and dairy producers. You know how good it is. Great. It's great. And every time they said no, I said, that's okay, we'll just tariff your cars coming in. They said, okay, we'll give you that point. We have taken the toughest ever action to crack down on China's very abusive trade practices. And I spoke to President Xi today. They want to make a deal, but we have to have a fair deal. We have to have a deal that's fair for the United States. And China has to open up their borders for our companies. By the way, America is being respected again. Do you notice? America is being respected again. But every day with us, it's promises made, promises kept. And actually, we made a lot of promises, but we did a lot better than those promises. We have actually performed a lot better than even the promises we made. We have taken bold action to reduce the price of prescription drugs. You're going to see that. You've already seen it. To help critically ill patients get life-saving treatments, we passed something that they've been trying to pass for many decades. It's called Right to Try, where they can try our drugs that are looking promising, that are in our pipeline, right? Hopefully you don't have to worry about that. Hopefully there's nobody in this room that's going to have to worry about that. But it's a great thing for people. And by the way, some incredible stories, some incredible results already. After years of surging premiums, the cost of health care is finally coming down, and you see that. And by the way, we got rid of the mandate, right? We got rid of the individual mandate, folks. The most unpopular part. And we've decimated Obamacare, and now we're managing it properly, and your premiums aren't going up nearly as fast, but getting rid of the individual mandate. So many people have thanked me. You had the privilege of paying a fortune in order to have the privilege of not having to pay a fortune for bad health care, right? Not too good. Not too good. Not too good. It's gone. You don't have to pay not to have health care. Think of it. You're paying not to have health care. Great, great. And last month, I proudly signed the largest bill to fight the opioid epidemic in American history. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a private doctor, and the landmark accountability law for the veterans to ensure anyone who mistreats our veterans can be accountable, and immediately we look at that person and we say, you're fired, get out of here. We secured $700 billion and $716 billion to fully rebuild the United States military, and we gave our great warriors their largest pay raise in more than a decade. And they deserve it. And on my direction and working with Mike Pence, the Pentagon is now working to create the sixth branch of the American Armed Forces called the Space Force. Very much needed. Very much needed. That's where it's at. That's where it's all going. Defense, offense, that's where it's all going. I withdrew the United States from the horrible one-sided Iran nuclear deal. And just today we announced that we are reimposing all sanctions lifted under that ridiculous deal that should have never been signed in the first place. We will have in place the toughest ever sanctions on this brutal Iranian regime. And at some point, they're going to get very smart, and they're going to come back and negotiate a real deal, a fair deal, and a deal that lets them thrive. We want them to thrive. We have recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Together, we have made extraordinary progress, and we are just getting started. But the Democrats want to turn back the clock, put America in reverse, and give power back to a corrupt, selfish ruling class that only looks out for themselves. I know them well. But we are not going back. We're not going back. We're going forward. I need you to vote for a Republican House and a Republican Senate so we can continue this incredible movement, the greatest political movement in the history of our country. It is. And if it wasn't, and I said that, I'd have a lot of problems back then. It is the greatest movement in the history. Think of it. And it's about you. It's not about me. It's about you. Although I didn't do a bad job, right? Not bad. Not a bad job. It's about you. He says, keep winning. We're going to keep winning. This is a movement built on love for our nation and love for our fellow citizens. And with your votes, we will keep on cutting your taxes, reducing your regulations, and raising your incomes. We will protect Medicare and Social Security. And you remember on the debate stage, I would always defend Social Security when other guys wanted to tear it apart. Well, guess what? We haven't touched Social Security. We will defend your right to free speech, religious liberty, and we will continue to confirm judges who will interpret the Constitution as written. We will fully secure the border. We will pass Kate's Law. We will stop sanctuary cities, stop catch and release, end the visa lottery, end chain migration, and we will keep the criminals, drug dealers, and terrorists the hell out of our country. We will lift millions of our citizens from welfare to work, dependence to independence, and poverty to prosperity. For years you watched as your leaders apologized for America. You know it well. Now you have a president who is standing up for America, and I always will. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for Indiana, and we are proudly standing up for our great national anthem. I am asking every citizen from every party and every background and every race and color and creed for your support so we can continue to deliver hope, opportunity, and justice for all Americans. I need you to get your family, get your friends, get your neighbors, get your coworkers, and go out and vote Republican. This Tuesday, I need the people of Indiana to send a message to Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and the radical Democrats by voting for Mike Braun. He will be a winner. He will be a winner. Remember, your senator that you currently have, Sleeping Joe, he was last on the list. He was last on the list. Remember that when you walk into the booth. I'm really speaking more to the television cameras than to you because I don't think we have too many Donnelly voters. Anybody going to vote for Donnelly in this? Oh, my. Not too many, Governor. I don't see any. Loyal citizens like you helped build this country, and together we are taking back our country, returning power to you, the American people. This great state was built by some of the toughest men and strongest women ever to walk the face of the earth. These proud Indiana Patriots braved the wilderness and defied the dangers to build a life and a home with their own 2 hands. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury, but they all had one thing in common. They loved their families. You know that. You do know that. They loved their families. What else did they love? They loved their country, and they loved their God. These courageous Americans did not shed their blood, their sweat, and their tears so that we could sit at home while others tried to erase their legacy, tear down our history, and destroy our proud American heritage. That's what it is. It's a proud American heritage. For the sake of our freedom and for the sake of our children, we are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win, win, win. We will not bend, we will not break, we will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory, always. Because we are Americans, and our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And Indiana, together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Indiana. Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Hold on, give me 1 second here and screen. All right, so thank you so much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. We saw that we had a super chat on the chat, and I just want to give a quick thank you to whoever gave the super chat. Give me 1 second as I get everything ready. Too many things to do at one time, folks. Too many things. Oh my goodness. All right. So tomorrow we're going to have 2 rallies. One is going to happen in Belgrade, Montana at 11 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we're going to have one in Pensacola, Florida. And that one is going to happen at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, live here at Golden State Times. Thank you so much again for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. Also, thank you to Laura Houston for supporting us through Super Chat. Thank you so much for your help and your support. So yeah, folks, 2 rallies tomorrow. We had 2 rallies today. And It's so crazy how much energy this president has, folks. 2 rallies in one day, 2 rallies tomorrow, 2 rallies on Sunday, and 3 rallies on Monday, right before the 2018 midterm elections. The president working extremely hard, folks, and we're working hard right with him to make sure that we cover every single one of his rallies. So if you guys would like to help us, the link is in the description below for our PayPal. That helps us get to the next Trump rally. Also, you guys can use Super Chat just like, give me one second here. You guys can use Super Chat just like Laura. And Laura helped us out on Super Chat, and thank you so much for that. So if you'd like to help us out, you can use Super Chat or you can also use PayPal. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys here tomorrow for President Trump's rallies in Montana and Florida. He's going back to Montana and he's going back to Florida. So it might mean that he really, really needs to focus on these 2 states. I don't know. It's the 3rd time each that he's been back to those 2 states. So make sure you guys stay tuned live here at Golden State Times. Make sure you guys subscribe, click the notification bell, and I hope to see you guys here tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. Again, if you'd like to help us get to the next Trump rally, which is tomorrow in Montana and in Florida, you can use the link in the description below to our PayPal, or you can go to paypal.me/GST Live.